We acknowledge with gratitude that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation, who have lived here for thousands of years and continue to care for these lands and waters. We also recognize the shared territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Tsleil-Waututh, Cathy, and Musqueam nations. We honor their enduring presence and ongoing contributions to this region.
Welcome to Faces Tri-Cities interview series. I'm Geneviève Kyle-Lefebvre.
And I'm Cathy. Faces Tri-Cities is a co-authored book featuring 50 amazing local women.
And today we are sitting with Robbin Whachell. Welcome, Robbin.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. We also have some ladies in the audience.
Yes, we do.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
And let's do it. So, Robbin, what inspired you to get involved in this local initiative?
What I love about this initiative is that Women's Day, International Women's Day, is one day, and this is about telling the story for every day. And I have a background in marketing and communications, and I love my community, and I'm very involved in my community, and I thought this is a way to share the voice of the things that I love and I'm passionate about in my community.
Mm-hmm. That's really beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, I love that. What impact does sharing your story have on the Tri-Cities community, Robbin?
Well, I'm involved with environmental group Watershed Society, which is just a short walk from my home. I've been with them for over 10 years now, and it's all about supporting the salmon. It's about maintaining a healthy environment, and that if the salmon don't come home, it's our responsibility, and it's really our fault. It's always the challenges we face running the society and maintaining a hatchery in the middle of beautiful Coquitlam, but in central Coquitlam, all the challenges are human related. So it's just a great way to put the work out there and share that it's really everyone's responsibility and that you can get involved in even in little ways.
And I feel this is what you wrote about in the book, right? Okay, we'll dive in. I want to know a little bit more, but before we go there, I'd like to know, what does being part of a co-author book help make a difference here in the Tri-Cities?
Again, I don't think there's, it's the shared stories every day of women that there's often, just thinking of the Tri-Cities, there's no place that I know of that you can go to find out about women. There's not a lot of women's groups. And so this was a really beautiful collective to share the strong women that are out there, the stories of adversity, that we all together create this cohesive fabric that brings the community together. The women are traditionally the fire keepers, the family. Usually they say it's the men, but it's the woman that the children come home to. It's the woman that the man comes home to. So with my, Métis background, the women is also, it's the maternal that's very important, that the lineage is carried through. So to me, this was a beautiful way of bringing women together, and not just for one day.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what I have heard? You want to educate the world? Educate the mothers.
Yeah, that's
Right?
right. That's right. I know with for yourself, I remember you asking me a question about the book, like how big is this book going to be, Cathy? How many people? It's going to be small and intimate, and we thought it was going to be 25 people at most. It was just a new initiative for us. Little did we know that we were able to sell it out and choose 50 amazing, beautiful, diverse women. So I'm glad that we were able to meet that. Why was that important to you in terms of the size of the book?
To me, this first issue, I feel, was really important. We kind of know who the celebrities are of the community, and usually that's politically driven. It can be politically driven. What I love about this collective is there are people that you would never hear their story if they were
so
not
true.
written.
That's exactly.
And that was something we talked
That's
about.
exactly
Yes.
what we wanted as well. And there's everyone in here from their early 20s and into their 70s, and that's what we loved. We were able to cater to so many people. We're going to talk about your quote real quick. It's just a sweet and short one. Go ahead. You want to say it, Geneviève?
Yes, I will. I believe in a better world, Robbin Whachell.
Yeah, it just a mantra that I've had probably since my 20s, and it's kind of like my little carrot that I focus on. I focus on that no matter what I'm involved with, no matter who I'm involved with, can I help them in some way, and how can I just keep the world better around me in all its aspects.
In your book here, though, just real quick, my commitment to environmental stewardship extends beyond the waterways. I started Broom Busters in Coquitlam. What is Broom Busters?
Well, I'm going out broom busting this afternoon.
Uh-oh.
And
I hope it's not violent.
no, it's not violent. I was walking the Crunch one day during the heat dome, and I kept hearing this popping noise. And it was very hot. It was August, and it was at the bottom of the Crunch. And I looked over at these plants, and I looked closer, and I took video, and I saw these seed pods just exploding, and little seeds flying, and that's what I was hearing. So I came home, put it on social media. A friend from Vancouver Island said, "Oh, that's Scotch broom. It's really beautiful in the spring. You probably have seen it. It's yellow." And we have a group here called Broom Busters, and because it's taking over Vancouver Island. So I've been noted because of my work with the Watershed Society. We also do invasive work and walking the Crunch a lot. Over the years, I've noticed this yellow plant being more and more prevalent. So I contacted the founder, and she said, we'd love to have somebody in the Lower Mainland taking this on. And so that's how Broom Busters Coquitlam got started.
Okay, so it's to help invasive species not take over.
Specifically
So
Scotch broom.
that's specific.
Yes,
Right.
it's not native.
So it's
to
just
Canada.
taking over everything.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
It will.
Yes, and it's a huge fire hazard. One plant can throw off 18,000 seeds. Seeds remain viable for up to 30 years. The plant actually changes the soil. So we want to have our native plants live on, but it will just take over sunny spots. So that's why hydrolines are very key.
Right.
So we started in 2022, and this is our fourth year now. And it's been amazing how much we cleared. The city of Coquitlam was quite overwhelmed at first because they couldn't believe how much broom we were removing from the public park. So we do work in collaboration with them because they dispose of it. Today we're working across from around the animal shelter and the city work yard. There's a lot there.
Is it by your office, the animal shelter? Is it down by your?
I don't know.
Yeah. Is it just off of Mariner?
Correct.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't know about that.
No, that's okay. I think that's where you walk. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. It's
okay.
where you do your hike sometimes. Yeah. And so hence you're busting the broom.
Correct.
Right. And then also you are an avid, what is it called? Nothing Dragons?
Dragon boater. I'm
Dragon boater,
feeling
thank
a little
you.
stiff in my seat today because we were
Does a lot of
racing.
things. Very active lady.
We
Well,
were racing in Vancouver yesterday, our first race of the season. So yeah, I'm president of the Nothing Dragon Paddling Society out of Port Moody, and it's a group that's been around since 1998. First female president. And so it's like running a small village. We have over 65 members and 50 plus. Yeah.
and what's the impact on the Tri-Cities of this group?
We provide youth support. We get youth involved. So there's a collaborative team called the Rapid Eagles who won a gold yesterday in Vancouver in
Wow.
the division. And it's students from Riverside and Glen Eagle who come out, and so we support them with our boats, with our equipment, and we also take the community out on dragon boat experiences. So we support community groups that might not be able to afford to do it. We take out school children, and we also do corporate experience as well. It's really great for team building because everyone has to be in time or you won't get anywhere.
I know. I just want to be I want to be the person at the front that yells at everybody.
Am I surprised about that?
The drummer. I want to be the drummer.
drummer,
I'm not
oh
in
my
a band. I don't want to be that. I want to be that person because I'm not that strong. Like it's a lot of work. You got to have a lot of upper strength.
She would have me at the back doing this though, right?
Count oh, or whatever you're shouting. I don't know.
But if I may, I feel like what you said, something resonated with me. I think if we talk about our youth that are often behind their device, I have little ones myself, like I try to be like, no, only on Saturday and this and that, and to give them the possibility to participate to something that is actually an outlet for them. Right? And to give them a passion for something, to get them out. Like, I think we can talk about mental health, helping our youth, and also taking them away from their devices and give them an opportunity. I think it's amazing to help our youth in many different ways. But what you said really resonated with this. And thank you for doing it, and thank you for keep doing it. And definitely let us know. We can definitely help you with spreading the words with our youth. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
What does being part of a diverse and growing community like the Tri-Cities mean to you?
Oh, I love living in the Tri-Cities, and I love being in Coquitlam because we're sandwiched between the other two cities, and I just feel like I have the best of all three worlds, like a dragon boat in Port
Rocky
Moody.
Point, yeah.
I do my invasive work in Coquitlam, and in Port Coquitlam, I play soccer with a Poco team. A lot of these girls grew up.
Another thing.
That's her and her cleats. That's how we met.
Oh, really?
So it's just like I lived abroad for 13 years, and coming home to my country, and my children actually chose this location, but I just fell in love with Canada. I just fell in love with Canada. It was the best thing I did was to live away, because you come back and see how blessed and lucky we are, and how beautiful we are. Not beautiful we are, but our country is, in particular BC.
I think we're beautiful also.
Yes. Yes. So what I love, and I love the diversity of the Tri-Cities, and that we don't feel segregated as three cities. That's what's really unique about how blessed we are, is that we are, it's like we're one family with the three cities, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I'd like to talk a little bit about your Métis roots. So, did you always know you were part of the Métis Nation? Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
I was living in the Bahamas, and it was there that I found out that we might have Indigenous roots. My sister-in-law was working for Indian Affairs, and every time they went to social events and she brought her husband, people were going, you guys look like you could have some Indigenous. And my brother said, yeah, I think we do. So she started searching with my mother to try and find our lineage, and they weren't very successful, even though they went at it for a lot of years. Through social media, again, the Facebook group, Métis Heritage Facebook group, I connected with somebody, mentioned some of my forefathers' names. She said, I think we're cousins. And she's a genealogist.
Wow.
My mother was living with me at the time, which was so golden, because she just said, I'm going to send you your grandmother's lineage. And I was like, oh, yeah, right. Boom. She sends me this document. And I just said, Mom, come and sit down. And it was my mother's lineage all the way back to 1400s France. Like from France all the way to Canada through the whole Métis thing. Since then, I've been doing more personal research when I get a chance, and there's a lot of tools today that make it really easy to do that. It takes work, but what I've since found is 8 of my great-grandmothers were the filles de Roy, the Queen's daughters, who actually...
Wow, she's royal.
Well, not the Queen's daughters in that sense. They were sent over from France to help populate Montreal.
Oh, I see.
That
Okay.
area.
Yeah.
So they were actually, some women, there were some women that later came as volunteers. So they sent the men first, and they needed women to come, of course, to help with the cooking, the gardening, and population. So that's been really exciting. And then finding books where my ancestors are actually mentioned in there. Being a dragon boater, one of my great-grandfathers was a voyageur, so in the canoe. So it's just been really exciting.
Wow, so much development of your life, and
I know. I feel now I've got some connection here with the French. You know, that's
it always
amazing.
goes back to
I always go to the French.
I knew it. No. Just really quick. I mean, I loved that you documented everything about your mom, and she had like a blog on Facebook called Robin's Nest.
Oh.
And she paid homage to her mom. I don't want to get emotional.
Parenting our parents.
Yes, parenting our parents. And it was just so, she's passed on now, of course, but it was just such a beautiful, and I looked forward to reading this all the time.
Don't cry, I'm going to cry.
I know. I had moments yesterday too, but I was like, look up, the makeup. Anyways, I just wanted to thank you because, my mom just turned 70 and I feel that, I'm always parenting her, and then we've got the kids on the other side. So I'm in a sandwich era, and all of those things that you wrote were so beautiful, and I hope that you're proud of yourself. I know that she's proud of you, that you did all of that for her and for yourself, I'm sure, just to document everything of what was going on in her life and going to visit her so often and all of that. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah,
I really
advocating
enjoyed
for
that.
our parents as they get older is probably one of the most important things we'll ever do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I think some of us here are in that situation also, and I am myself also. My dad is starting to have dementia, so it's become very difficult, specifically when he's in Montreal, outside of Montreal, and I'm in Vancouver. So that brings another layer. Then a lot of people in Canada are actually
definitely.
through
It's-
this. Very
my
difficult.
mom was here, and I know during COVID you couldn't see your mom, and like the facility all had COVID and all of these things. It's crazy times, but we're out of that end now, and she's not in pain, and it's
Right.
in God's will, I guess.
Yes. Do we have some questions?
Yeah, let's ask some
Cathy?
questions, ladies.
So, hi, ladies. Any question for Robbin?
Just a comment. Thank you for sharing your stories. Seems like you're multifaceted, and it's great to see that you're so involved through sports and athletics and your work. So thank you for contributing back.
Thank you for being in the book, so we get to know you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See what you
absolutely.
Thank you.
I do love the sense of community that brings, like, all of us, right? I think that's amazing. Well, Robbin, I'm a little bit curious. Can you explain to us a little bit about Hoary Creek Hatchery? Then you are really involved with what do they do, and what's the impact on our cities to have the hatchery?
Right, so the Hoy Creek Hatchery is a nonprofit group supported by the City of Coquitlam and Department of Fisheries and Oceans Canada. We're a small but fierce little group. We're one of the smaller hatcheries in the Tri-Cities, but we do good work. We raise coho and chum. We just had our salmon leave home event where we released the chum, and it's great. The community gets to come out and help out. Next, we have our coho, which they hang out with us for about a year. So we'll be actually fin clipping them so that they're marked as hatchery fish. And that's so when they get out to the ocean, if a fisherman is to catch a fish, and I'm talking about just a layman fisherman, not a professional fisherman.
Right.
They can keep the fish if it's missing one of the fins, the adipose fin right here.
Yes, I
on
see
the
this,
back.
right?
Right. So we do fin clipping in the next month or
I
two.
don't know if we can see the little. I don't know if we can see the little fin that is clipped here. All right.
Right. So because we're a smaller hatchery, we're very education focused. So our mandate is more about informing the public, bringing a lot of school groups through for education and tours. We have one next week with Riverside Secondaries Fishing Group. So it's every day we have daily feeders that come in and maintain take care of the salmon. What's been interesting lately is as the city grows, so do the challenges. So we're getting more vandalism, break-ins. Like, I don't know who would want something in a salmon hatchery.
Wow.
But so it's a continuous struggle to deal with the challenges, whether it's pollution in the creeks. So we do invasive work in the summertime. We do stream cleans. It'll blow your mind as to what comes out of our creeks because people use it as a dumping ground. We do storm drain marking, so people know not to put caustic things down the drains, but that still happens. Because of our work, the city has come on side with doing more water testing and have hired a company called FlowLink who actually monitor the stream, so we can go onto a computer and actually look at what's happening in the stream real time as far as turbidity, and it may not help with if there's a major pollution event, but it does give us some parameters and some at least backup information. So it's never a dull moment whether we get an email, someone saying, I love the residents because they're our best watchdogs. They'll contact the city or they'll send us a message. They'll walk around. The residents that live near the hatchery take it very personally, and that's what community is, right?
Yes, no, absolutely.
What is your role there?
I'm past president. I had 2 terms of president there. Now I'm the secretary, but I also do all the communications.
She's not busy at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Robin, thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting us and being part of the book. Thank you for doing the land acknowledgement at our book lunch. It was an honor to have you doing it. Of course, I'm thinking it was great to be a bit of a French influence into this. And thank you for being you and for everything you do. And keep taking care of those weeds.
Broom busting.
Broom busting.
Gosh. You know what? Maybe you need volunteers for broom busting.
Yes.
Today you're listening to Robbin Whachell. Geneviève and I are here with Faces Tri-Cities in our interview series, along with Tri-Cities Community TV. A big thank you to them. If you're looking for some volunteer opportunities, you can certainly look up Robbin Whachell and her broom busting. She's a wonderful human that spends a lot of time in the community giving back. And as her quote says, believe in a better world. And I believe with her in it, it is a better world. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, we're Cathy and Geneviève from Tri-Cities Community TV.
Bye.